Namaste, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the
Creator Show.
And in this episode, we have a very special guest appearance from our CEO herself. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. Namaste. My name is Acharya Varalakshmi. I recently had a name change, so you might know me in the past as Rebecca, but recently Grandmaster gave this very honorable title to me, and I'm really feel blessed and really happy to be here to be sharing some time with all of you. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you, G. And we have our director of Wealth Yogi. Introduce yourself.
Hello. Svenja, for those of you who don't know me yet, actually I just want to say, you should tell them the meaning about your name.
Oh, yes, I will.
Which
well, should I start now or
When
after
we
you
get
have
into it.
introduced yourself?
Well, I already did. Svenja. I don't think they need
She's
to.
the OG. This one's the original Wealth Yogi.
They
from
call
the
me
first one.
Wealth Yogi, Foremother, OG Wealth Yogi, all these different names.
And then moving on, we have the
Kaina.
Kaina.
Yes, hi. You've all know me already.
Oh, it's like that, is it? Okay.
I've
To
been
all
on the
of you
show
who are
too
newly
many
tuned
times
in, you
now.
should all know her already. And we have Simba here. Simba, say hi. No. And Faith.
Hey, Faithy.
And in today's episode, what we thought we would talk a little bit about is this whole thing of coming out of lockdown, kind of, although I hear that there will be another lockdown happening for Christmas.
I
That's the
Now
really
masks
hope
now
it
masks are off in UK. They maybe it can go one way, and then maybe we will have to have a lockdown Christmas again. But we'll see. Well, let's not try to manifest it. Besides that, I think that a lot of people have been struggling, whether that be emotionally, whether that be financially, a lot of things, and then now getting back on their feet, how people should adapt, how people should look at everything. Personally, what I've been observing, and this is within our community, and I'd like to hear everybody's take on this, is because of lockdown, it's such a strange thing being isolated from the whole world. And I think it's very easy for people to feel lost, meaning losing sense of purpose, or am I really doing the thing for me, or is this my life, or where they're probably not realizing that, hey, everybody's probably thinking the same thing because everybody's blocked out from the world and their friends and family and traveling and everything. So they're stuck in these walls, then questioning, is this still the right path for me? What is all your take on it? And does it cross any of your minds? And how do you deal with it? Or how should people deal with it? What are your thoughts?
I think it's a very relevant topic right now. Everybody is feeling a little bit lost, more like a question: what do I do now? What can I make my life a little better now that everything is so uncertain? It's so easy to let go and fall into I want to say a little bit of a rut mindset in the mindset. It's the first thing that I think is very important is to have a community, because when we feel like that, we need a little bit of boost from outside just for us to see, oh, well, it's not just me. There are other people in the same situation. The whole world is going through this situation. But if somebody else can be a little, how do I put it? If somebody else can do something more than just feeling down and lost, can I also do something in my life? That little nudge, that little boost can get the ball rolling inside the mind and just help you get out of the bed, get out and maybe go for a walk, and just see how the mindset starts shifting, because at the end of the day, everything is happening at the energetic level. And that little shift in the physical directly impacts at our energy body and can trigger something that will allow you to move forward, which is very, very important for us, especially during this time.
I think that an important thing that you said, G, was about environment, and I think for us, we've been blessed to be in a position where we have that community and we have that environment where everybody is forward thinking and we're working towards next level goals or vision and things like that throughout this whole pandemic. I think even at that level, still observing certain members of the team or the inner community and things like that, sometimes it's like when you're observing outside world and thinking what are people doing, and then I think it's that feeling when things become a bit routine and mundane, and it seems like, hey, 3 years on, we're still in lockdown, right? And it's kind of like, hey, why am I doing this? What are we doing this for? And I think then it kind of triggers the mind to think that they're going on the completely wrong path. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? And I think that I actually did a Instagram on this yesterday. I said that variety is a basic human need. Everybody requires variety. Doing the same thing over and over will get a bit stuck. And I said some jump from one to another seeking for the actual thing for them, for that eternal fulfillment. They keep jumping from one to another, whether that be in relationship or whether that be in career. And then some stick to the same old, accepting that it is what it is. It is what it is. You can never have everything so beautiful and pleasant and everything like that. And then I said, the secret is to, and I said, finish the sentence.
The thing is, I started writing an answer to that. I said, if I start writing to this, there will be no end to my answer. So let me just stop it. But maybe, do you want to hear my answer?
Go for it, yeah.
The secret is, there is no secret, really. So I was thinking, what would I do? Neither answer is right or wrong. You can be seeking for variety and jumping, and you might, as you jump, you might land into something that is really great for you, and you're stuck, and maybe you're already in that enlightenment zone where that's the best place for you to be. So it really depends on person to person and circumstances that they are living in. But I want to, when I answer this, I think people really need to think, where am I in my life? And is it good for me to shift? Is it good for me to stay? That is that decision, that point, I would like to call it divine intelligence, to answer whether where I'm staying is the right place to stay, or should I move. That point of decision is so crucial, and it can only come from divine intelligence to allow us to either move forward or stay where we are. And to be able to get that divine intelligence, we really need to clear our soul and become pure. And that level of purity is so difficult to get in today's life, because people don't want to work on their body, let alone their mindset. And if you are not ready to get up in the morning and do what is required to do to help your mindset and things like that, little things like that, then the question of divine intelligence just doesn't come. So what I want to say is, if you are seeking, if we are all a seeker, well, I would like to consider myself a seeker, then we should seek for that divine intelligence, meaning that we continue to put work every single day on our body and mind and our memories. And because I would like to think that energy body consists of a certain assets, and that all that assets, including our mind, our memories, our ego and everything, along with our physical body, when these two things works at the similar and alignment level, then perhaps we will get to the point of divine intelligence where we can say that, okay, I'm okay where I am, or we change the path. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think it's a very deep answer, and getting people to the answer being tuned into divine intelligence is a very tough task for everybody to be able to where do I plug in, you know? And I think that from my perspective, looking at it, because I realized also I didn't give my answer to the own question.
Well, why don't we hear the answer from all of us?
but actually, how I feel, I think it you actually stimulated this part of the conversation, which is nice, and I think it is important to know where you are at in life, and what is your purpose, like I'm not talking about higher purpose. I'm just saying that what are you trying to achieve in that moment? Because that exact question, I found myself for many, many years going through that same question of is it a career or relationship or anything? It's the same thing. It's kind of like when it becomes when it just like lockdown, when it becomes the same, then you start questioning. Then you're like, hey, there must be more, because then the same, you know? And so I did that within different careers, from changing from one career to another career, to try and different project, and kept doing that. And I think it's, for me, how I look at it today is it's got to do with, if you have a very strong mission, it's mission and purpose and vision related, the question doesn't arise anymore.
Exactly.
Because everything is evolved around that mission. So it's and I think the word sacrifice may seem like a negative word or something like that to some people, but I don't think it's really sacrificing. I think it's more to do with choosing. It's saying it's exactly like, let's say, for example, doing a YouTube channel, or even doing a YouTube video. After 1,300 videos I've made now, there is not any part of me which is excited to do today's creator show. Like, I'm not like, wow, we get to film today, you know? There's not that excitement. But the mission and vision is way beyond that. So it's like, I know what I need to do to get to what needs to happen. So then, if that becomes so strong, everything else is irrelevant, really. Exactly. Because it's a perspective. It's saying that if, and I had this conversation with you yesterday, which is to say, okay, you know, what's required, if it's to lock myself in a house for one whole year and just do whatever's required to be able to get to the next step, then so be it.
Exactly.
Because it's no longer about, when mission is so big, we're not thinking about personal freedom so much. Where some people will say, hey, but then you're not free spirit and you're trapped. I'm not trapped. It's a perspective, because I feel I can lock myself in a room for 12 months and be happier than some people who are free out there.
Exactly.
So I think that's a very important point for people to establish, is what do they, if they can find something that's greater than themselves, which we have this mission, which is greater than ourselves. So then everything else is just, okay, that's what I need to do. So let's enjoy while doing it. Exactly. Because I have two choices here. I can complain and do it, or I can enjoy and do it, you know?
Do you not think that is actually one of like the, if you look at it from the bigger perspective, that was kind of like one of the lessons that COVID brought about in the first place, like by actually locking people somewhere, making them exactly
Driving them crazy.
finding fulfillment, finding happiness more in just like whatever they have around, whatever they're doing, rather than seeking it there and somewhere else, and just kind of like being forced into just enjoying whatever you do. And
I think that is
doing
I think
that switch of
I think that is a
perspective.
huge lesson because of this. I mean, this whole pandemic and lockdown and everything like that. However, I also see it a little bit like it was a filter from the universe. Not because we cannot say that everybody learned that lesson. In fact, I would say probably I would probably say 80% of the people didn't learn that lesson. Instead, they went crazy. They were going crazy emotionally or whatever and feeling not good. And maybe just that 10 or 20% are the people who figured it out. They got the awakening through it. But how I see it is like our greatest parent, our most loving parent was like, okay, it's like survival of the fittest. Once I see the fittest ones, okay, here's some more opportunities for you guys because you guys are the ones that are to lead the next evolution, let's say.
I think that's a very beautiful way of putting it. Yeah, universe always tests us, our capacity, and only the fittest will continue to survive, because that is the process of evolution. And like many other species have got extinct, you don't fit into the environment, you crash and burn. So humans have got an opportunity to increase our level of consciousness through this pandemic, and realize that there is different way of living life. There is different way to looking at adversity and make something out of it rather than get stuck. But obviously a lot of people will still go through a lot of painful side to get out of it. But it's a lesson and survival for the fittest, really.
Simba and Faith is wanting to say something.
Exactly.
They're wanting their opinion now. I think that one thing. I mean, what I mentioned just there is about having a greater purpose, and those who are blessed to have found something like that which drives them is good. But what about the majority of the population who don't? What would you say their approach should be? Should they just keep, oh, this isn't the right thing for me, let's try another thing. Oh, this isn't the right thing for me, let's try another thing. Oh, this isn't. Should they keep doing that? Should they settle? Should they, what approach? Or is there a way, do you think, that people could shortcut finding that bigger mission and purpose for themselves?
I think the most important thing is to always look inwards, because as you always say, you attract what you are and not what you want. And a lot of times when you switch from one thing to the other, it's because you're seeking something from somebody else or from a certain job for them to give you this satisfaction. Whereas if you know that it's not supposed to come from somebody else, it's what you are, that's what somebody else will give to you and what you will attract back as well, then you can always, in every situation, be happy, be fulfilled, be satisfied, because you choose to be that way. And maybe if a certain situation right now doesn't feel right for you, it might not be because of the situation, it might be because you're not fit right now. You're not capable to appreciate the situation.
This is a very nice perspective now, because there's a lot of truth in it, which is seek inwards and self-fulfillment. Then you'll be fulfilled with outer world. Here comes the next part. Okay, in one of Steve Jobs' speeches, he once said, "Never settle. Strive for more. Strive for abundance. Strive for everything." Then there's this perspective where for a lot of people, when they're going through spiritual awakening, they become fulfilled in any. Put me in any situation. Like I said, put me in any situation. There's no problem. Where is the balance between? Where is that settle? It's very easy, right? I accept everything. Everything's okay. It's perfect, and I'm happy in any situation. And where is the balance between that and abundance?
Yeah. These are some really, really tough questions, but I'm loving it. So there, again, there is no right or wrong answer according to my being where I am at this moment in life. The abundance is the universe will give abundance to the one capable and those who are working towards it. It's the intention behind the abundance which is very, very important. I would like to explain it in two ways, which I usually teach in my yoga class. There are two types of karma or action, just actions. When Steve Jobs says strive, it means that you hustle, you take action, you do things, you work. And so this is in Sanskrit is called karma, just action. There are two types of karma. One is in Sanskrit is called nishkam karma and satkam karma, which means that whatever action that you take in nishkam karma, it is you do it because it needs to get done. It's not for your own fulfillment, it's not for your own desire, but because it needs to get done. And when I say it needs to get done, it's for the good of everything. It's for the good of the humanity. When you just said, it just connects with what you said. When you do it because you're working towards a mission which is bigger than you, then it becomes nishkam karma, because you're not working for your own enjoyment, for your own fulfillment, not to earn money for you, but you will maybe get all the abundance, but that abundance will transfer through you and become something good for the rest of the world. So this is the action that is not for you. And the other action is because you want something for yourself. For example, you get at the end of the month, you get a salary and you want to, let's say, go buy, some shoes and clothes, and that's just for you and for your own satisfaction. This is just a very rough example that I'm giving, but it's for me, it's not for the benefit of the others. Then this comes with an expectation. When I don't have that money coming in and I really wanted to buy that Gucci bag or something, and I don't get to buy it, then you're so disappointed because it was just for you. Then you're attached to that fruit of your desires and things like that. Then this kind of action always creates bindings, which is like a hook to your soul and doesn't allow you to become really free. But on the other hand, when you just become the channel for the good of mankind, even if you're working so hard and doing everything, the soul is completely free. And that's the state of complete enlightenment, which from the outside world, people will think that, oh, you're working like 19, 20 hours and you're just sleeping for 4 hours and you're working so hard, you have no time to do anything else. Physically, outwardly, for others, you are trapped in doing your mission. But then
when you're doing it, you're very free.
Exactly.
You see, I think this is the big thing, because when you're in that, you feel absolutely free. You feel like there's nothing to stop you. There's nothing that can make you unhappy. There's nothing can disrupt that at all. And I think that not only that is when you are that way inclined, just allowing and doing whatever's necessary, the self benefit is natural. It's effortless. There's no thought behind it. It just comes. and but then how does one get to that stage? Is the question. Do they need to go through all the mistakes and challenges and taking the wrong paths and is that the way, or is there another way to suddenly get it?
Yeah,
You know,
there is the long way and there's the short way.
short way is to go to the mountains.
Short way is to find a master really, really quickly and learn from the people who has done it. Because to me, why would you waste your time making mistakes? Because you've got like, I don't know, 50, 60 years more. If you're 30 years old, maybe you've got another 50 years left. Why would you waste time making a lot of mistakes?
You see that is the strange thing, because I really I mean, of course, I connect with that most is because that was my thing. Before was already losing sense of mission or purpose or anything else that's required, really, for self. That was the only question at that time. And then after the journey with Grandmaster, it was literally what was said in the documentary. It was, now you are no longer manifesting for self, you're manifesting for universe. And I think when people watch it, I don't believe that people watching it or hearing those words or even hearing our words right now actually understand the essence of what we're speaking about, because it still sounds like, oh, you mean you're sacrificing your own needs, or oh, then you're not that happy. Oh, this person's crazy about some god or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like that it sounds like some crazy devotion towards something. And I don't feel that people understand the liberation and how free.
Yeah, it's
So how to get one to understand that?
Doesn't it go like hand in hand with what Kaina said? Like it like if you do that inward work and then you come into that state where you can just be satisfied, calm, happy, blissful, whenever, then it just naturally flows. You naturally flow out of that cleansed, satisfied, self-contained space. Then it just becomes natural to just give and do whatever is required. But it really goes hand in hand.
I think that is a very key first part of the puzzle, is to be happy, is to self-love, self-happiness, self-satisfaction. How I see the balance, I see it as be happy, be eternally grateful for everything you have in any moment, doesn't matter what's happening, be in that state of mind. And then there is abundance in this world. And I think that abundance is for all. And then you make a choice. So I think this is a choice. Depends on the appetite of your spirit. Is to say, we are here for, let's say, 80 years, 90 years, or 100 years, let's say. You got 100 years in this game. What do you want to do? You want to experience this much, or you want to experience this much? And I think those two are the things, is saying, you see, the problem comes when people are chasing something big, because they're thinking that their happiness is at the end of that big goal. But with these two parts of the formula is saying, number one is be eternally grateful for everything you have in any moment in time, no matter what happens. That is the first practice. While understanding there is abundance out there. And it's all for you, if you want. And I think it works hand in hand, just like what you said there. Because if you adopt the first one, that positive thinking will allow you to attract even more of that abundance. But then it still comes a choice. Like I said, you know you're in this game for 100 years, 80 years, whatever. how much of it you do want to play?
More than 100, please.
How much of it you want to play?
do
You know?
yoga.
I think if you are in this game to experience it to the fullest, I don't think settling ever would be an option, because then you decide to not let your spirit grow or experience even more. I think in that sense, then you would always have to strive for more, or have to seek, okay, I am at this point in my life right now, how can I do more? How can I grow more? How can I help more people? But if you are here to experience just basic and just a teacup, right, as you say, then you can just only strive to be happy.
Yeah. I think settle is not the. I think settle is not the. I think satisfaction with everything is the thing. Settling is not really the thing. We always say in our practices, we say if you're not growing, you're dying. So we have to be evolving. The universe is evolving. Everything's moving forward. You also have to move forward. And I think then it only comes to the other factor, which we haven't mentioned yet, which is time. And that's our race, really.
Yes.
That's the thing that's ticking life away. So it's
Faster and
time.
faster.
And so if time is the factor, then speed is the answer. Right? Is to say that I need to, in the shortest amount of time, be able to experience the most abundance, and what is my formula, what is my strategy for that. And I remember I was actually having a conversation with Svenja just a week ago or something like that in the car about some people, I think that, wow, you want to never settle and go for so much out there that's so tiring and so much hard work, and why would you put yourself through that? And what I was saying to Svenja the other day, I was saying that the interesting thing is it doesn't need to be harder. And it doesn't necessarily get harder. If you are, again, I think it's divine intelligence, getting smarter at the same time. Because we cannot say a billionaire is working more than a factory person. We cannot say that.
No.
A factory person may be doing more hours. A billionaire may be enjoying more of life. You know, it could be either or, right? But I think there's also a smart way, intelligent way of doing so. And I think that when people think never settle, they're, oh, that's too tiring. No, come on, just take a break, you know. But you don't understand that you can take whatever break you want in that abundance. And the break is so much more glamorous. You see, you get to experience so much more in those breaks.
But actually, that is not even a break for those kind of people. You know, there is no stopping. The mind and the energy just keeps on expanding, because when you're at that, you know, when the divine intelligence starts flowing, and it flows at according to the capacity of the container, then even when
That's
you
why
are...
I'm messaging you every day saying, gee, we need to move to US. Gee, we need to do this. It's not me.
the divine intelligence is flowing
This
through.
capacity is just allowing. And she's always panicking. Oh no, he's at it again. Where are we moving today? Yesterday I sent her a house. I said, oh, it's only 51,000 a month. I said, that's a good house to take now.
I did say yes to that. Let's take it. I'm thinking, we have to do something, but I'm also thinking we have to move in a sustainable way.
Yeah. Sometimes they don't listen very they don't go very slowly.
The intelligence, like go
now,
go.
go now. But that's what Grandmaster says also. You should do it now. Go. Go.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean. Do it now.
But then it just so happens that you're the mechanics behind the going.
Yeah,
So
and then I have
it's
to
like, how?
I have to think.
I get the command is go, but how?
Oh, you have no idea.
But it's very nice to observe, because obviously you are very conscious and aware of that level of flow and energy that's moving with us, but at the same time needing to deal with the mechanics of it. That is the intuitive or the divine energy mixed with somewhat of logical sense.
That is so difficult.
And how do you find such balance? I think is a question from me.
It's that's such a beautiful question, and for the first time I think I'm at loss for words.
The answer is the balance, is it not? You ask for the balance, but the answer is the balance. I think it needs balance between
sometimes give and take,
letting flow and using logical intelligence and balance it out. And
so it's not been easy. It's really not been easy. Shall I?
Gigi's like, I'm leaving.
that's easy theory,
Goodbye.
but what about practice?
So it's so easy. My life was so easy when I was in the corporate world. I could always complain and then complain about my boss and then do things because it was a small world. I just have to show up at work and do a certain thing, and then I get paid and I get to travel and do the nice things, and 6 p.m. and maybe sometimes a little bit later in the night, and that's it. There is nothing much to think about. But when I started transitioning from that kind of lifestyle to experiencing more, I didn't realize what I was transitioning into, and then all this certain things that is so illogical in my head back then started coming from Grandmaster that we need to do this. And in the physical world there is no connection, so he would give something out there. And I'm thinking here, and there is no path to go there. And I'm thinking, what do I do now? And then those days, very overwhelming to figure out how to navigate the path. But then I realized that the more I just breathe into it, and it's so easy to say breathe into it, but it's not been difficult. It's not been easy. See, the energy doesn't want me to say the word difficult. So to get out of that, I really had to shift the way that I think, and to be able to understand from where is he coming from? How is he thinking like this? What kind of neurons are being triggered in his head to be able to think like that? And why am I here? So over a period of time, in hindsight, I think that I was inside his head to be able to understand a little bit, not all of it, a little bit, to be able to understand the perspective from where he's coming from. And now I have to do the same thing with you. I don't understand everything where all of this is coming from, but I have to really think from your perspective, keeping in understanding, because I'm dealing with this whole team who has got different mindset, different thought processes, and to link it to the bigger mission and to bring all of their thought process to work in one direction. And if we don't work together from here, it's like, think of me as like the person in between in the grand vision to bring all of these people to work in the same path, because only with all of us walking together that the mission is going to be successful.
This is the I think that's the toughest part, and I think you're doing a very good job of it. Extremely good job, because when I that energy is working at such a speed and it's wanting everything to happen, that when I came back from mountains, like, I would have fired the whole team. You get what I'm saying? Because nobody is working on that capacity, and nobody has the mindset on working on that capacity. Even till today, if I was in charge, I may still fire the whole team. You get what I'm saying? So because it's like, what are you doing? Just get on with it, right? There's so much needing to do. So we're very blessed to have you coordinating this and taking the team along that journey. I think that an interesting thing, and I think from outsiders, again, somebody just listening to this podcast or watching this show, I think it just seems there's a few conscious, aware people who are just having a chat right now. Mm-hmm. What I've observed is that people who come into this space, first of all, everybody desires to come into this space. Everybody wants to be part of it. Oh my God, you guys are just helping people every day and so happy every day. That's so beautiful. I want to be a part of that. Everybody does. And then when they come into this space, this is the biggest test, I feel. And we've observed the people who come and stay, and we've observed the people who come and go, who cannot handle it. But I realize one thing, being so into this, and I realize this also with Kaina when we are going outside in human world. And I don't know if you guys witness and observe this a lot when you go into, let's say, just a restaurant or you're just out in public and you're hearing people's conversations. And sometimes it's like, why? Like, why are they talking about, why are they angry about this, or why are they talking about this, or what's the point, or why are they doing this? It's like, it's a very interesting thing where I feel that once you come into this game, you go into the normal world, you feel a very big difference. And the interesting thing is there's so many levels to this awareness that, for example, the people who are watching this are most likely the more conscious people out of the world. But that is only one layer. Because I see them coming into this space and feeling confused, or getting stuck, or even sometimes when we see our, let's say, elite members inside the community who are the forward thinkers, and sometimes the messages that they send, or sometimes the comments that they make, or sometimes the frustration they express, sometimes you're like, really?
Why?
Like it's a very interesting space to be in, and just observing. I personally have not experienced another space. I'm sure there are a lot of communities out there and a lot of leaders out there doing similar things. But I've not seen a space that is at this level of consciousness while actively working with the human world. And I think that's an important thing to mention, is because if we say a conscious, aware space, we can say go into any temple or go into any ashram or something like that. And I'm sure the levels of awareness and consciousness is very there. But I think it's a very unique position that we have here, which is where, okay, that's our practice. Yet we need to deal with the humans.
Yes. I think that is so beautiful, because people in the world, I believe, that need this kind of this unique combination of, dealing with the human desires, needs and wants, financial abundance, strategies and everything, but combined with the spiritual side of this. Well, you do everything that is required to lift your human life up now, but build a foundation with the spirituality, and whatever you're building is so much stronger. And when you're ready and you're in a stage where you're now able to work on a mission bigger than you, your foundation is set. You have financial freedom to be able to say, oh, I want to take a month off, 3 months off to go and be there in the mountains or something like that. And you can do it. So it's very important.
I'm going tomorrow.
Not
It
quite
comes
yet.
all back to wealth yogi,
Exactly.
balance of spiritual and physical.
Here you go.
It is that. But I think that, I mean, and hence that's why Wealth Yogi is a 3-month journey in itself. And you see the battle. You see I tell the people who are coming onto Wealth Yogi as well. I say, first week you'll be crying. First month you'll be crying. Second month you'll still be crying like a baby.
I cried too.
Yeah, it's because it's like it's so disruptive. It's so different to what is the environment outside, you know. But I think that this is how I see it is like this. 3 years, 5 years on from now, the farthest development will come from the team members. It is because they're in that every single day.
Exactly.
And in that, there will be constant battle. In and out, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out, I'm in, I'm out. Is this right for me? Is it not? It's just too much, not too much. And then it'll be constant. I battled with that thing that I posted on Instagram. Next, or stay, or ask for more, or not. That thing I battled with for 15 years. There was no answer to it. And I at that time I felt like, oh, maybe I need to change my career, change the company to be able to figure it out. And you're constantly switching. But I feel that the most sped up education, and I don't believe majority of team members know this yet. But I know that in 3-5 years' time, they will see how far they've come. And that is the trajectory that comes from there. I'm talking about, I always give the example, I say, when you want to build a high-rise tower, when you see it coming up, for the first 3 years, all you're hearing is machines going and nothing's coming up. They're building foundations, that's all they're doing. Then what happens is 2 months later, boom, and then 3 months later, the whole building is up there, and you're like, hey, where'd that come from, right? But you didn't see the 3 years hard work in between. And this is how I see the level of conditioning that's happening within this circle, whether knowingly or unknowingly. And I see that in, 2-3 years' time, the journey for the individuals will be exponential.
Absolutely. And I think this is a test of the spirit too, because during this 2-3 years, there will be a lot of ups and downs inside the heart. There would be, sometimes you want to give up. Sometimes there will be resistance. Sometimes you just want to cry. Sometimes you just want to run away. All of these things are going to happen, and it's going to be very, very intense because we have put them into a very intense environment. But what will come out is this, it will be gold, because they will be, gold becomes, it has to be inside the fire to become the gold that we can use. So it's being polished. Like I was polished and you were polished at some point, and we continue to get polished, and everybody needs to get polished until we become part of the source itself. And it's a continuous journey. So
and I think on that journey, discipline is a very big thing.
Absolutely.
Is a huge thing. But then rewind comes back from discipline requires a purpose. If there's no why behind it, then there cannot be any discipline. It's like, why am I doing it? Your question every single time. And how I observe it is, even recently having a conversation with Tim, one of our ex-students. He's a very fascinating character, because no one can tempt him into anything. You can tell him, hey, you can make $1 million doing this. No one can tempt him, because for the past 3 years, he's been working on one funnel, one product. And he used to live. I don't know if you're aware, G, but he used to live 3 doors down from us. He moved here for a while, and then his curtain. He used to close the curtains. Like every day, he wakes up in the morning. He keeps the curtains closed through the day because he said he doesn't want a sense of time, so that he doesn't feel like it's time to rest, time to eat, time to whatever, so that he can fully focus. So he locks himself in a room and he does that. Now coming through, I'm sure there's so many people who ask for collaborations with him, or so many people give him different projects or different things, but that is immense discipline. And to a point where I know, for example, right now, if he wanted to, he could buy a supercar, which I know he likes. I know he could live in a mansion, which I know he likes. But he's not doing any of that, and I'm like people like that. I'm very interested in. I'm just fascinated with what we will see in 5 years' time, because these are the foundations. In 5 years' time, they'll own something huge, and you'll be like, "Where did you come from?" But that was immense discipline to be able to do that, you know. And I think sometimes with people with a creative mind. Inclusive of myself, I have to work with that, you know. It's tough. It's really tough.
Yeah. Discipline is so interesting. I grew up in a very disciplined environment, and I was so disciplined that I threw away discipline after a while.
Rebelled, huh?
Rebelled against it, fully against it.
But that was the foundation is set for you.
Yeah.
So when you come back.
Yeah, and I can switch into that so easily. And when I'm focused, there were times when I would just look at something and I don't actually hear anything. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything. All I'm doing is what that matters. And I'm not doing it deliberately. I just tune into that zone automatically. And sometimes I've found out that, you know, somebody is calling me and I haven't heard for a very long time. And then, what just happened? So, but it's been very interesting to go in and out of that. But discipline is like any other of our, muscle. If you don't use it regularly, it starts dying off again. So I have to consciously, nowadays I try to put 10 minutes down and then I write down, just so that my discipline is consistent. And it comes with little things of, waking up at certain time and things like that. And it's just tuning into that discipline. But when I gave up all my discipline, it just went downhill.
I think discipline is one thing. I think distractions is another thing.
Oh, yeah.
A person with discipline, I mean, distractions are always there. And the thing is, distractions mostly come from humans, mostly come from people. And whether it be people asking you to, hey, let's go here, or people, let's do this, or whether it's observing some of your friends going and having a good time and thinking, hey, maybe I should be doing that. Why am I doing this? Or observing some of your friends, or get married, have kids, or do whatever, and you think, hey, wait there a second, I'm missing out, So I think there's always that. Then there's another thing, which is with humans and people, which is a distraction where we fear what other people may think or their opinions. And it's very interesting. I don't know if any of you are or have experienced this, is that outside world, especially when we work in this way, we'll have a lot of, you're working too hard. Hey, you need to take a break. I hear that from my mum every single day. You need to take a break. If I took, I'll be on permanent holiday if I listen to my mum, right? But it's like, but it's a very interesting thing. And sometimes the interesting thing is, even when you're disciplined and people give their opinions, their judgment from outside, which they will never know what's really going on in your world. They only can see it from their perspective. But it makes you question at times. Am I working too? Is there something wrong with me? Then it makes you question. I don't know if you guys have any
thoughts.
Or is everybody supportive around you?
No, it happens a lot, and I think sometimes if you are aware of it happening, then sometimes you may just, that's what I do sometimes, I just choose to not even say, so that I don't get that reaction because I know it may affect me, so I just don't even say, because
That's
I
the
know
best way.
the understanding would be so different.
So when they say, what are you doing, Svenja? Just having fun. What are you doing? Just resting.
Doing my
No,
fun
but like,
and enjoying.
for example, I don't know, maybe we had a weekend event and then it's Monday, I would talk to my family or something, and then I don't know, they ask me what, or somebody asked me what did you do over the weekend? I would be like, well, we're on an event, so working. Yes. But now you have a day off. Yeah. Yeah, I make sure I get some time off.
That's actually a good strategy. It is a good strategy. I do it a lot as well, and I think it's very important to know how to be a chameleon at the right times in this world, because if you don't know how to blend in with the right conversations, then you get challenged,
Oh, of course.
and sometimes those challenges make it even harder. So you rather just agree and makes it easier, huh?
Yeah, a lot easier just to accept things. Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to wrap up for this session. First of all, what I'd like to just quickly whiz round for final line from each of our guests today, just to inspire you on what thoughts you guys may have for them going ahead. And we'll start from our CEO.
Okay, so today I just want to say, keep your mind open and your heart open, and whatever you do, keep compassion and love in your heart. Thank you.
Beautiful. And our director of Wealth Yogi.
I would like to pick up on something that she mentioned earlier, but we didn't really expand on it. But I think it's just the greatest help you can get into this journey to come to that point is really having a master. So find yourself some guidance for this journey. It makes everything so much easier.
Very good. And from the Carina.
Just be purposeful with everything that you do, because that's how you can find your purpose, is just by being purposeful and being making sure you enjoy everything. Enjoy everything you do is a bit hard because I don't enjoy doing it, but as long as you just choose to enjoy it, then it might be something that you do enjoy eventually. It's a bit of a word wumble, but yeah.
Beautiful. And my lines to everybody today is the secret to divine flow state, being able to fulfill the bigger mission, is the balance between discipline and surrendering. So I'll let you ponder across that thought for a moment. And we're going to finish there. If you enjoyed this video, if you got anything out of it whatsoever, please do hit the thumbs up, hit the like button. Also, comment below. Let us know any questions or any shares that you guys may have, or even where you guys have tuned in from. That's always nice to know. And finally, if you're new to this channel and you haven't already, remember to hit that subscribe button and the notifications button next to it. That's a little bell sign, by the way, because this year we're dedicated to making weekly creator show videos to hold you accountable to make it your best year yet. But for now, guys, we're signing out. Namaste.